Hi everyone, and welcome to Line of Fire, where we discuss issues affecting the UT Dallas student body. As the cost of higher education continues to increase, universities are looking for new ways to educate their students in a cost-effective manner. Massive open online courses, referred to as MOOCs, are a potential new way for universities to reach and educate their students. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what it's like to be in a MOOC, as well as its strengths and weaknesses, and whether or not MOOCs have a place in the future of UT Dallas, on today's episode of Line of Fire. Panelists, I'd like to thank you for joining me here today. Before we begin, I'm going to introduce each and every one of you. We have Nancy Fairbank, Student Government Vice President, Sarojini Mohan, graduated from 2011 from Telecommunications Engineering from UT Dallas and currently works as a software developer at ADVA. We have Esteban Bustillos, Managing Editor of the UT Mercury, and we have Mohman Aseri, currently a doctoral student in the School of Management studying Information Systems. Panelists, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us here today. Whether or not we've graduated or we're still students, we all know that being a college student is not exactly a very cheap endeavor. It takes a lot of time and money in order to be able to earn a degree. And so that's generally why MOOCs, which allow students to enroll for free and still get the same information, are so appealing to many universities and students. I'd like to ask, has anyone in this panel been in a MOOC before?
Yes, I've taken a few MOOC courses and I've completed a couple of them successfully.
What is it like being in a MOOC? What's the assignments like? What's the experience like?
MOOC course is offered through a series of video lectures, like you all know, and the assessments of a students' learning abilities are also done online. So everything about a MOOC is always online. You get to learn the course material through video lectures. You get to take regular assessments and assignments over a schedule. And you do have examinations also, like how you would in a traditional classroom. You're also allowed to take online examinations. And at the end of it all, if you successfully complete a MOOC, you do obtain a statement of accomplishment from the course instructor. So this is how a MOOC works. It is entirely online, and the way the subject is delivered is completely online.
Did you take any online courses through the University of Texas at Dallas at your time at this university?
No, not during my tenure at UTD. I started taking MOOCs after I joined the industry, after I graduated, because I wanted to stay up to date on the latest in my field, and I realized the importance as I started working, and that's when I started learning from MOOCs.
All right. One of the common complaints that many people have about MOOCs is that because it's not a traditional formal classroom experience, the students won't be necessarily engaged as much as they might be in learning.
That's true.
I want to know, are there any specific, shortfalls you might, specifically maybe online education at all, do you feel like that MOOCs need to address?
Let's consider a class which is 1 hour class, and let's say one student asks one question every 10 minutes. So there will be 6 questions in 1 hour class, right? In the regular class. So you go to MOOC, you attend 1 hour class, and there is a discussion forum. You will see hundreds of questions there. So this is 6 versus 100. So it is not that you cannot ask questions on MOOCs. You can ask questions. Not only questions, you can discuss a lot of things on MOOC.
Another advantage that you have in MOOCs is that so when you attend a class and say you doze off, you miss out on some important aspect in the classroom, and most of the times some things tend to shoot over your head and you miss a concept. Later on you might have to follow it up with your friends or your instructor. MOOC gives you the flexibility to attend the video lecture at your house or in the library somewhere, where you take it in a self-paced manner.
So aside from the, price difference that we have in a MOOC versus an online course taken in the university, what are, some specific features that are available only to MOOCs?
Well, I know that one aspect of MOOCs is that, it's even in the name, they're massive. And so MOOCs can have so many more students than regular online courses. I think there was one that I read about that had up to 45,000 students. And so regarding the question you asked about quality of education, I do think that there's some potential issues. I understand the nature of being able to have an online community where everyone can ask and answer questions, but if you have 45,000 students, I find it doubtful that every question can be answered. If I'm in a regular course or even a smaller online course, I can go to my professor. I do have TAs that I can go to, but with that many students, I think it would be impossible to have answers to every question. And in addition, I think that in MOOCs in areas such as the medical field, for those that want to be doctors, there is absolutely no adequate replacement for in-person lab experience. And I know that that's a profession that we really want to make sure that students are adequately prepared for. And so I do think there are some potential quality issues due to sizing, and that's something specific to MOOCs rather than just online courses.
In some way, they're trying to get a workaround of this physical interaction problem. So recently, some MOOC provider, what they do is that they choose one particular location that day, that time, we will have one tutorial session in coffee shop of this place, and they physically meet with and the TAs meet the students. So in some way, they are actually trying to address this type of problem.
I know another aspect that MOOCs have that are different than traditional online courses is that they don't actually really offer any real credit as opposed to an online course that you take on e-learning. And when they do, there is you usually have to pay extra just to get a certificate of completion, which I know that can be a little bit of an issue, and it kind of leaves a bigger question of what really are we doing with MOOCs in general.
To bring up the fact that you can't actually earn credit for a MOOC being taken currently at UT Dallas.
Right.
One of the worries, I guess, with why MOOCs aren't being currently given credit is because the completion rates are so very low. A MOOC was offered at UT Austin Energy 101, and out of 38,000 students who signed up, only 5,000 completed the course.
If you see the data, okay, so when a person comes to UTD or any traditional university, they don't have the same degree which they are going to enroll in, right? If I come for master's degree in UTD, most of the time people don't have that same degree which they are coming to enroll in. But if you look at the MOOC, more than 80% people already have the degree. So they are there just for knowledge, not to earn a degree, first of all. And out of those 20% left behind, if 4% is completion rate, it's far better. It's good.
The target audience for most MOOCs out there right now is working professionals or people who are looking to learn something outside of what they are learning right now.
I completely agree with the idea of having MOOCs for those that are trying to just get some more professional information. Free information can definitely be a positive thing that adds to our educational system. However, I am very concerned that the UT system is right now trying to develop MOOCs for the purpose of actual credit and aim them at undergraduate degrees. And I think that does bring up a lot of issues because, like you mentioned, I think it'll be really hard for students to stick to a rigorous course schedule if they're not actually attending class, if they can access the lectures at any time. And that is an issue right now with online classes, regular online classes, but it's less of an issue because you have a smaller amount of students. It's easier for the professor to check in on people. And so I do really have an issue with MOOCs being offered for credit at the undergraduate level because of that, and also just because of the potential issues with cheating. Because it's an online course, it can be easier for students to gain access to the answers while they're taking tests and whatnot. So I definitely love the idea of MOOCs for free information for professionals or those that are working, but as an undergraduate credit, I think that there are a lot of potential issues.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I think we kind of have to keep in mind that the idea of a MOOCs as a whole is kind of a new concept. They were barely offered at UT Austin just, I believe, last year. And in the article done by the Texas Tribune, it mentioned that the two courses there had completion rates of 13 and 11%. While that's very low, one of the professors who gave them compared using those rates as as a way to judge those courses to judging enrollment at university by the number of people who just apply to university against those who are actually there, who actually enroll. There's a big difference. So I can see where that criticism comes from, and I agree it's very low. But like Nancy said, I'm not sure if, like, because they have said this is the direction we want to take. So if it is just for supplemental education, and like you said, entertainment, I like that idea. Giving those courses to people who just want to enhance their learning without actually having to pay for it is really good. But if it is for actual college credit, and you are trying to get this out to more people and give an actual class, I can see where there may be some controversy with that.
So if you have a target market that is mostly professionals, and there are issues, like you say, with cheating and low completion rates, and that brings that into question the remarks that Greg Abbott made a few weeks ago. In his plan, he said he wanted for Texas universities to offer credit for students who take MOOCs. Now, with all these issues in mind, do you think it is necessarily a good plan to move forward with that, or do you think that misses the point of what MOOCs are trying to do?
So I'm absolutely against that plan. I understand the appeal in some ways. So first of all, if we did offer MOOCs for credit where you could actually get a full degree just from taking MOOCs, it would make education a lot cheaper. I know that Abbott said specifically that he wanted to eventually create a system where you could get a whole undergraduate degree for just $10,000. So it would make it cheaper, and it would also make it more accessible for non-traditional students, those that may be working or have children. So I do understand those appeals, but at the same time, there are so many logistical issues that haven't been worked out. As I mentioned, academic dishonesty is a huge problem that they haven't been able to fix yet. The potential for someone to take these classes and earn a degree but really not learn the information is very large with MOOCs rather than people that are in a traditional testing setting.
They're trying their best to come up with the proctored exams. There is a provision of proctored exam. The video will be on. There are machine learning algorithms which can figure out if you have taken help from other people.
When it comes to assignments, I've seen that due to platform limitations, the online learning tools that are there in edX or Coursera, the platform limitations necessitate that certain assignments be offered in a way that the student can take it multiple times, take it and retake it, so that they get full credit. And that is not always reliable. It depends on what your perception of assessing the students' learning objectives are. If you feel that, if you feel that the entire examination pattern has to change, then the MOOC examination pattern also has to change accordingly. And in that way, you can avoid academic dishonesty. While I appreciate Mr. Abbott's initiative to take education out to the masses, I still think that making MOOCs available for credit needs long-term planning and execution.
I do think that the point of college is not just to teach you course material, but to teach you how to think. And I think that that's a key thing that MOOCs lacks, where they can give you those technical skills and actual information, but they shouldn't be the basis of teaching our students how they should think and how they should analyze.
So we all said there are potential concerns with how MOOCs are run and how they're implemented and how they need to be brought to students. That being said, the University of Texas recently invested $5 million into a company called edX, which I'm sure you all know is familiar with, at least they currently offer MOOCs. The issue is that if there is a lot of issues still to be worked out, and there's definitely a need for long-term planning, why is the university rushing into investing so much money into the edX platform? And does it have anything to do with the fact that the chancellor of the UT system currently sits on the edX University Advisory Board?
Well, I think that's probably one of the more disturbing aspects of MOOCs, at least for the UT system in general, is that there seems to be a vested business interest that the system has. That being said, do I necessarily think that there's some underlying horrifyingly evil agenda that they have? I don't think so. I mean, I think they generally do want to get education more universal, which is something that you guys brought up, which I agree with. I think that's a great agenda to have, is to try to make more people have access to higher education, even if the system isn't perfect. But just seeing that UT does have this connection where there's dollar signs, it does make you question kind of what is their what they're really trying to do here.
I also think that part of the reason that politicians in Texas and those in the UT system are so keen on investing in MOOCs is because Texas is experiencing just a huge growth rate. So many people are coming to Texas both for educational purposes and also because we have the highest growing job rate. And so I think that due to the increases in population at every school, I mean UT Dallas itself has grown 9% in the past year, there's a need for more space that we simply don't have. And MOOCs help take care of that problem, right?
Ease the burden on the
Yes,
university.
you don't have to take up the physical space, as well as they can be offered a lot more cheaply so that we can get students through college cheaply and then into the workforce.
All right. We are running close on time here, so I want to ask you, Nancy, are there any plans, or has the university made any plans to integrate MOOCs into the UT Dallas coursework?
As far as I know, UT Dallas has not made plans to integrate MOOCs as of yet. I think one of the best things about UT Dallas is that we value quality over more faster paced implementations of programs that we're unsure if they're going to be successful. And so I agree with UT Dallas's decision so far to wait, watch the trial period at UT Austin as they begin to implement MOOCs and ensure that before we rush into things that there is a quality assurance level with these courses.
All right. So MOOCs definitely, currently aren't at UT Dallas right now, but they one day might be soon. This concludes our episode of Line of Fire. Panelists, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
For more information about MOOCs and all other issues at UT Dallas, read the UT Dallas Mercury or watch UTD TV. This is Stanley Joseph at Line of Fire.